everyone. This video is to highlight the updates that we'll be making to the Realizeit interface. This includes both the student interface and the instructor interface. This walkthrough will show images from the new interface in comparison with the current interface. So one of the first improvements you see here is the what you have done so far piece has been moved to the first thing that a student will see within a milestone, instead of it being at the end as it was before. The what you should do next area has also changed. It's now split into two areas. The first you see is the topic that they recommend that they should work on next, as well as the learning map and access to it. Within the topic of what you should do next, you also see this is the recommended step. They would click here, or they can choose to look at alternate steps. So when students click the alternate steps option, all available alternate steps will appear. Previously, the alternate steps was available in a small arrow in the upper right-hand corner, so now it is more easily seen. In looking at the map level updates to the student interface, the first thing I want to point out here is the coloration has changed. So no longer will it start with a small circle and grow as they gain in mastery. The coloration will fill out the entire circle. And once they've completed a topic, there'll be a check mark. So here's what it looks like in the map. So here's an available topic. Here's a topic that has been completed. And before we didn't have check marks for completion, and you can see that the circles were smaller here for the light green, whereas now it fills out the entire circle. When looking at a specific topic in the main details area, they can see which of the course learning objectives that it contributes to. So this will be listed here. Before that was not available to the students in this area. Now we're going to look at some changes in the lesson level itself. So when a student is working within a lesson, if they choose to skip areas, a confirmation message will appear, and then they'll need to confirm that they want to actually skip. Okay. Though once a student has chosen to skip, if they would like to add that skipped content back in, for example, if they skip straight to the questions and then struggled, they could click Add Content, and this will bring the content back in, so they'll be able to access it once again. Today, when students practice, a practice involves answering questions, and there is no option for them to view the content when they're actually within the lesson. So now what a student will see is when they're working on a practice, if they'd like to see content from the learning, they'll have the option to add the content back in, and this will bring in all of the content options in the lesson paths. Not only questions will appear. And lastly, if a student is struggling with questions, there will be a notice at the end that states that they're struggling and will offer them some options as to what they should do next. So now we'll move our focus to the instructor interface changes. So the first thing you'll notice when you log in as an instructor is there's been an added area. There's a to-do area, and in this area, if a student has marked a question, you receive a message, a variety of pieces here that need to be attended to will happen here. Do note that this will not appear if you don't have anything in it, so you may not see the to-do area if you have no action items that you need to do when you log in. The next is that the need to know area has been restructured. Visually looks different. We have the students area, we have specific problems, and we have activities with data. You also have more visuals and just easier access to view how your students are doing in the system. So this really visually looks different than it did in the past. The learning map structure has also improved to match what the students see. The instructors see the same thing. The other piece that you'll see here is that in the instructor toolbox, the messages area has been added there. In the past, the messages area had been on top. Again, if you receive messages though, you'll get a notice in the to-do section regarding your messages. Another improvement is any place that you see the student, you'll have options to interact with them, whether it be send a message, have them practice, have them review. But anytime we see a student, you'll have this option where before it was an image and their name, but you weren't able to engage with them at this piece. But any place the student is listed, now you have those engagement features available. Now within a topic, the main details area has changed. Instead of having the completed students listed first and the students that were not completed were listed below, now they're side by side, so you're able to see them more easily. So again, this is within a topic. Another piece that has changed within a topic is the history option. So now what we're able to see as instructors is the total time that they've spent in the topic, the time that they spent in each individual lesson, and we can sort this data by a start and finish date range, along with week, month, all. So we have more specifics in the ability to search. Before, the data range wasn't specific to dates. It only had all, and that timing data was not available. The details tab, as it is now, is going to be upgraded to be called the Students tab. So within the Students tab, that is where the data is available for the students. So it makes sense that we rename that to be the student area. And that is the last update we have for the Realizeit instructor interface. Thank you all.